I want to welcome you all to Antique Acres. This is the 8th annual sale, and it is always held the third weekend of May. So this year it landed on May 17th and 18th, but you guys need to mark your calendars for next year, May 16th and 17th. This is a sale that you do not want to miss. There were 16 vendors, and we brought the goods, you guys. By the truckloads and trailerfuls, and wait until you guys see this video and some of the things that you guys missed out on. So I hope you enjoy this video, and at the end I can't wait to hear what you guys think. We were able to start setting up on Monday, and that allowed us to really bring the goods. But we also got there extra early on Friday morning. We wanted to make sure that every vignette looked absolutely perfect for you guys. Now, the sale, oh my gosh, you guys, people were waiting in line at 7 o'clock. And let me tell you, that line was so long. Plus, all day long, this is what the sale looked like. It was a constant just number of new people that have never been to the sale, returning customers. It was absolutely amazing. If you've never been to Antique Acres before, what it consists of is the barn. There are vendors in there. There are more vendors in the garage, and then more over in the shed. And they create the most amazing vignettes, you guys. But how couldn't you in this amazing barn or on this amazing property? Now, as you walk through the door, there was a 17-foot ladder. It just wowed you. And that is all thanks to Jeb, which consists of a husband and wife duo, Rusty and Jesse. And you guys, they go on little picking adventures. So if you don't follow them, you definitely need to head on over to their Facebook page. And they love showing all the goodies that they find on the road. They're located within the Yield Goat as well. I am happy to say that they will also be in my fall sale. So I already told you to mark your calendars for next year for Antique Acres. You definitely want to mark your calendars for my fall sale, which will be October 4th and 5th. I was lucky enough to be able to rent this barn and fill it with some amazing vendors. And Rusty and Jesse are one of them. So I am going to show you a little glimpse of their amazing booth, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think of theirs. I should also mention about these two that he is the woodworker, and she kind of gives him a vision or an idea, and then he creates it. Sometimes, though, he gets a little creative and she has to reel him back in. But I love that. And Jessie has the most amazing eye for styling her pieces and creating these beautiful vignettes. If you are ever in the Yield Goat, definitely head on over to one or two of their booths and just check out how she styles her pieces. And you guys are also going to find some amazing items that you'll be going home with. The next vendor is Jen from Sweet Pea, and you guys, look at these amazing vignettes. She has created the coolest display here. She took vintage doors and she created little like cubbies all the way down the aisle, and then in each little section she created a vignette for each of those little cubbies. It was absolutely outstanding, and every time I see her vignettes, I'm like, what can I learn from her? How she's displaying. I love it. Now, she has some really exciting news. She broke ground and she is going to have her own little shop right at her home, and it is going to be called the Pea Patch. I love it. She should have it ready for the Vintage Shop Hop, which is the same weekend that we will be at the barn, which is October 4th and 5th. So definitely head on over to her Facebook page, give her a follow, and definitely watch for her grand opening. And I can only imagine what her and her husband are going to create at her property and at the Pea Patch. One thing I love about Jen is she is always on top of what is trending in the decor world. And I love hearing like her insight into what is like hot and what people are decorating with. And one thing she mentioned was like all the jars filled with trinkets is all the rage. And those went right away. Her display was packed full of those. And yes, they were gone immediately. When the women, or there were men too, but when the women walked through that front door of the barn and saw her displays, they were grabbing things by the armful, you guys. So I love how she puts a lot of the same colors throughout all the vignettes to really tie it all together. The next vendor here is Carrie from the Junction. You can find her on Facebook or over at the Yeo Goat as well. She is another picker and goes on many different road trips throughout the year and finds some of the best things, you guys. I am always in awe when I go into the Goat and I see her next best find. She finds some of the most amazing furniture pieces and then just brings in all these small pieces or smalls and ties the whole vignette together. So that is another one I'm always looking at to see how she's styling her pieces and displaying them. And like I said, she finds the most amazing items, and she is going to be at my fall event as well. So definitely head on over, like I said, follow her on Facebook or check her out over at the Yield Goat. But look at these amazing items, and her booth was also cleared pretty quickly, but she was able to restock it for the second day. Now we're at my booth, and you guys, if you've been following me a while over on YouTube and Facebook, I have been showcasing many of these items. I did the dressers over there. I also did the table, and you'll probably notice that I've grabbed a few of the small pieces that you'll have seen that I upcycled on my videos, and I just brought them all in and I tried to create little vignettes throughout the booth. And I had a lot of fun doing this, but I have been tackling a lot of things in my life right now, or for my business, I should say. And this week I was a bit stressed. I did many trips here. I do not have a trailer like many of these individuals that go picking all the time. So I just filled up my husband's truck or my SUV, and I just brought, I guess I went on several trips out there every day, and I just then started setting the pieces up, and it just pulled it all together. And in the end, you guys, I love how the booth turned out, and this was a really great sale. And I brought my flannels, so I had my leftover flannels. I created a display with my flannels as well, and I love how that turned out. The one thing that I absolutely love about this event is the unique styles of each vendor, you guys. You'll go into their booth and you'll just walk out completely amazed. I love walking around and getting ideas and inspiration from each of the vendors. So no matter how big their booths are or how small, you'll also walk away with just a bunch of inspiration. Our next vendor is Helen, and I did not catch her business name, but she has been here for the last couple years, and I love how she has jam-packed so much onto this table. She is an upcycler, so she takes items and just gives them new life, and it was very popular during the sale. We had a couple newbies this year, and here is Ruth, and she was into primitives. I learned a lot about primitives, you guys, and she had the history of each and every item here, which I found to be so intriguing. Like, she told the customers, and she actually told me about a few pieces too, but she knew exactly where that piece came from, the history behind it, why it may have had a flaw, or why, just every little detail. And I love that about her. She came from the Madison area, and she did not know what to expect when she got here, but she did absolutely amazing. And I am hoping she shows up again next year. She said that she is continuously picking and finding new items. So let's all give her a shout out and say, come back, Ruth, next year. Another newbie, Holly and Donnie, and they had boards, and they are new into their laser, but they are creating some amazing items here. And again, they had a great sale too, you guys. I loved everything that they did, and so did our customers. So I am hoping that they show up again next year as well. They also had an amazing vignette of all copper items, which definitely went over big. But look at these boards, just so many cool things jam-packed into this booth. And again, I'm hoping they come back because they were awesome to hang out with all weekend long. Next up are my parents' booth, you guys, and check out this table. My dad refinished this, and let me tell you, there were two women wanting it within like the first half hour of the sale. And the second gal, she got it, and the first gal came back and was so sad that it already had sold. So he did such a great job. But one thing I love about my mom's displays is she puts in so much effort into all the details, you guys. I love that when we used to do vendor events together, she just has an eye for pulling pieces or just, like color coordinating things. And that is exactly what she did in this booth. So my mom and dad had some really amazing pieces, and they had a really great sale as well. One thing, I am surprised that dresser did not sell. My dad did such an amazing job, upcycling it, and it is at their booth at the Yield Goat. So if you guys love it, head on over there. My mom and dad will be part of my fall event as well. So I'm excited what pieces they're going to be bringing to that. Now we're at Peg's booth from Uncle Peg Candle Company, and you guys, her candles are absolutely amazing. If you haven't had an opportunity to smell any of these, she can be found over at Water Street Vintage. I believe she's also on Facebook, but definitely I love those smells. Now we're leaving the barn and we're heading on over to the next location, which is the shed. But I have to show you guys a couple of the vignettes or outside pieces. So the cool thing about this venue is that everyone has their inside booths, and then they also bring a ton of outside decor. Whether it is decor you want to put in your gardens or your home, but we create the most amazing little vignettes that you can still shop. And let me tell you, there were so many good finds out here, and I am kicking myself that a couple pieces that I really wanted sold. And I kept thinking, if it doesn't sell by Saturday afternoon, I'm gonna buy it. And I should have bought it immediately because there were 3 pieces I had my eye on and they all sold. So I guess, it wasn't meant to be, right? I finally made it to the shed, you guys. There was a lot to look at, and I hope you guys enjoyed all that eye candy. But now we are in the booth of Lori from Lorabelle Finds and Designs. And she has a booth not only at the Yield Goat, but also at Water Street Vintage. And she is also Water Street Vintage's store manager. And you can find her at my fall event as well. And I love her booth designs as well. She creates the most amazing vignettes, and I am always on the lookout. She always seems to have McCoy pieces in her booth, so I'm always checking that out. And you can always find some real good finds. A lot of that outside decor as well at the end was from her. So I'm excited what she's going to be bringing to the fall event. And her booth is located right next to mine at the Yield Goat. So if you actually swing through my booth and then walk around the corner and see my fusion display, she is right next door. So I am always taking a peek to see what she has been bringing in. We've now made it to Wendy's booth, our fearless leader. She is the owner of Antique Acres, and she has her own business called Even Antiques. And honestly, you guys, I just want to give Wendy a huge shout out. She puts her heart and soul into this event to make it absolutely amazing. She just wants this to be an experience for every customer that steps onto her property. And you guys, she can't do this alone, okay? I just want to give a shout out to her entire family as well. Grant, her husband, is absolutely amazing, and her children as well. Her daughter Canyon is in charge of the checkout and make sure that everything is all in line. And then she has her sons who help with all the hauling. So they all get together and they just make this event outstanding. So if you haven't been here before, like I said before, this is an event you want to mark on your calendar and show up next year. Wendy puts in so much time and effort though into all of her vignettes. She picks all year long, and then she puts, like I said, a ton of time and creativity into every one of these events. Did you guys notice this green hutch? I have had my eye on it since last year. It has so much chippy crackle goodness, and I just want it. I don't know where I would put it. So in this area, what you're gonna find is Wendy, Lori, and then another new vendor. And I'm gonna show you her display right at the end, but a majority of the display in here is really between Lori and Wendy. And I just love how all the vignettes are just so unique and I get so much inspiration. The one thing too, I am always looking for little hidden gems in all of her vignettes. I love McCoy, I love turquoise, and I found a couple pieces to add to my collection. I was hoping to find like a number 8 as well, and unfortunately I did not find there was a couple like metal numbers throughout all the different vignettes and vendor booths, like right here. I just could not find a number 8, you guys. So I'm still on the hunt for that, and I'm always on the hunt for, for those turquoise McCoy vases and pottery, because I am slightly obsessed. And here is another new vendor, and she had these beautiful crystals, and I think it took her quite a while to set up this display. Unfortunately, I never was able to introduce myself to her or meet her, so I felt terrible about that, but I loved her display. Now we are on our way to the garage, and as you walk up, you can see a lot more outdoor decor. And then we are hitting up Brenda. She is the plant guru, and she collects all different unique pieces all throughout the year, and then she spends countless hours planting them up. And you guys, there is always something for someone. She is now expanded, and she is adding a little bit of home decor as well. And then on the right hand side of her, you are going to find Julie and Peggy, and they are with the Woodworking Daughter. Lots of real unique pieces, and when they first started coming, they started really small, and I just remember they had just a couple pieces, and they have just blossomed, you guys, and now are creating the most amazing vignettes within their displays. I absolutely love seeing that, how a business can just transform and grow, and they are inspired by so many other vendors and learn from them, and I just love how they have grown their business. Wendy did have another display located in the garage area, and this was all vintage vibes. And the colors, everything just brings you back to that era. I really loved those oranges and these yellows and greens. And, a lot of people are shopping and looking for that vibe in their home. So I just think it's awesome that you can find virtually all different home decor designs at this one sale. Now, the last vendor in the garage is Bob, and this is Brenda's brother, and he is a woodworker, and he has these barn stars. He also cuts out a lot of different pieces and has it all on display here. And I had to show you guys the Caboose. This is the latest addition to Grant and Wendy's property. Wendy has had her eye on this Caboose for quite some time, and she was lucky enough to wear the previous owner down and was able to purchase this. So there was a bit of damage or vandalism done to it. I think some I was going to say teenagers, but I honestly don't know who did the vandalism. I believe they broke some windows and I don't know what they all did to it. But because of that, the previous owner has agreed or did agree to sell the Caboose to Wendy. And you guys go to her page and watch as they bring the Caboose here. It was quite eventful. I did not know if it was going to make it under the railroad crossing. As she was videotaping it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to hit. And then it made it under. So it was extremely exciting watching it get to her property, and they've already started the restoration. Grant has started putting in new windows, and he is working on different items on the Caboose each and every day. So I am hoping by October, we'll keep our fingers crossed, that a majority of the Caboose will be finished. Now, with that said, you guys, save the date for October 4th and 5th. You have seen some of the amazing vendors that I will be having in the barn. Plus, there's going to be a few more. So join me on October 4th and 5th, and it is during the Vintage Shop Hop. So we will be on the map, and I look forward to meeting you all and seeing you then. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.